Hi everyone, I'm Barrie. Welcome to our gentle class. This is a perfect practice anytime you want or need to take it super easy, and yet you know that getting on your mat and moving a little bit will do you worlds of good. So this class doesn't have any poses where we are weight bearing on the hands or on the knees. And yet we still manage to go through the full range of motion for the spine and get through a really nice, well-rounded practice. And I'll be giving you suggestions for how to adapt these poses for prop usage, using the wall, or using a chair. Okay, so I'll be using 2 blocks, a belt and a blanket. So if you have those things, you can grab them now. And just take a moment to begin by becoming present. Close your eyes, settle into your breath, become aware of your posture, and just begin to notice where your body is at, where your mind is at. And take a really welcoming inner stance, especially when we're going slow and we're moving gently. We want to match that gentleness of our physical movements with an inner attitude of gentleness toward ourselves as well. If you wish, you may join your hands together in the center of your chest and gently bow your head toward your heart with this inner feeling. And then release your hands down, lift your chin, and open your eyes. Okay, we'll begin lying on the back. So go ahead and lie down and draw your knees into your chest. This is one of my favorite ways to begin any practice, gentle or not. Just really easefully moving it whatever way feels good for your back. And then coming back to a neutral position, keep your right knee in and extend your left leg out along the floor. And if you have anything going on in your back, you can keep that left knee bent and your foot flat on the floor as well. Draw your right knee in and extend your left heel away, stretch out through your left leg, and change sides. Drawing your left knee in. Reach out through your right leg, out through the heel if your leg is straight. And then first side again. This time take your belt, place your belt just around the front part of your heel for this version, in line with your ankle bone there. And stretch your right leg straight and either stretch your left leg out along the floor or again, feel free to keep it bent as you need to. Reaching long through your left leg, open the back of your right thigh, right knee, getting a gentle stretch in the hamstring as you reach out through both legs. Take both sides of your belt in your right hand. Take your left arm out to the left at shoulder height with your palm facing up, and extend your right leg over to the right for Supta Panangushtasana 2. Keep your left hip down as best you can by extending out through that left leg. Take a couple more breaths here. And after your next exhalation, inhale to bring your leg back up to center. Change hands on the belt. Cross your right leg over the midline to the left, just enough so you get a stretch on the outer right hip, right leg. It could be all the way down the leg. Doesn't take much usually. If you want, you can take your right thumb into your right hip crease to amp it up a little bit, rolling that right hip away from you. And then release your leg. And let's go to the second side. Draw your left knee in. Place your belt around the front part of your heel. And stretch your legs straight up. Extend long out through your right leg and up through your left heel. Opening the back of your left leg as best you can. Give yourself enough slack on the belt so that you can make that leg really straight, even if the leg doesn't come close to your face. Take both sides of your belt with your left hand. Take your right arm out to the right, palm facing up at shoulder height. Holding steady through your right leg, lower your left leg over to the left. After your next exhalation, inhale to bring the leg back up to center. Change hands, cross over the midline. Just a little bit, feeling that stretch along the outer seam of your left leg. Take your left thumb into your left hip crease if you did on the first side and roll it out. And then bring your leg back to center. Release your leg down. Place your belt to the side. Bend your knees. Place your feet as wide as your sticky mat. Stretch your arms overhead. Take a few rounds of windshield wipers at whatever pace feels good. So rather than doing this as a twist, keep one knee relatively steady and lower the opposite knee toward that inner ankle. So if my right knee is up, I'm lowering my left knee toward the right inner ankle, and this gives a little bit more stretch along the low back. And same thing to the other side. And if you want to take it a little bit deeper, use that foot like so to tack down the knee. Reach through your arms. So again, you can do this at whatever pace feels good. You can move dynamically with the breath, or you can hold a few breaths. And then after your next round, left to right is complete, come back to neutral position. Bring your arms down along your sides. Bend your elbows, raise your hips up. Take a little bridge pose, roll your shoulders closer together underneath you. Either use your hands to support your hips or interlace your hands underneath your back. Little bridge pose. Press down with your feet, raise your hips up. Lower down. If your hands are clasped, just stay there. We'll do this one more time. Press down with your arms, press down with your feet, raise your hips up, and curl your chest up toward your chin. And lower down, release your hands, eye of the needle. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee, draw your left knee in, holding around the back of your thigh or the front of your shin. And change sides. Okay, and release. Draw your knees into your chest again. Rock side to side. And now holding around the backs of your thighs, begin to rock front to back. You can make these movements as big as you'd like. You may want to take some full exhalations through your mouth as well here. And then rock yourself right up to sitting and come up to standing. Okay, we're going to do a little standing sequence beginning with half sun salutations. So stand with your feet hip distance apart and your toes pointing straight ahead. Join your palms together in the center of your chest. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, sit back in Utkatasana. Press down with your feet. Inhale, stretch your legs straight, and exhale your arms down to your sides. We'll do that a few times. Inhale up. Exhale, sit back. Take a full breath here, in and out. And with your inhale, stretch up. And exhale your arms down. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, sit back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, stretch your legs straight, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale up. Exhale, sit back. So arms can stay parallel or you can join your palms together, either way. Breathe in, breathe out with your inhale. Stretch up, exhale down. Last time, inhale up. Exhale, Utkatasana. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in, stretch your legs straight. Exhale, we'll continue adding in Uttanasana. Inhale up. Exhale, sit back. Inhale your breath. Exhale here. Inhale, stretch your legs straight. Exhale, fold forward. Take a couple breaths here, bending your knees as you need to take your fingertips to the floor. Bend your knees, sit back on your heels. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale here. Inhale, stretch your legs straight. Exhale, fold. Full breath in and out. Bend your knees, sit back on your heels. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale here. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Breathe in and breathe out. Sit back. Inhale up. Exhale here. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. 2 more times. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend your knees. Sit back. Breathe in, Utkatasana. Exhale here. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale here. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale your arms down to your sides. Stay here for a couple breaths, allowing the effort of that little flow movement to release, and enjoy your breath. Okay, let's do just a couple of balancing poses here, simple balancing poses. Shift your weight onto your left leg, take your right leg up, holding under your right thigh or around the front of your shin. Keep your standing leg straight and strong. Focus on an unmoving point on the floor in front of you and on your breathing. Press down into your foot, into the floor, and extend up through your spine. Lift and open your chest. And release, change sides. Steady your gaze, steady your breath. Standing legs straight and strong, push down into the floor and stretch up through your spine, open your chest. And release that leg down. Let's do a standing thigh stretch. Shift your weight back onto your left leg, take your right leg up, reach back, hold the top of your foot. If you bring your heel in toward your hip, you'll feel it more in the thigh. And if you draw your tailbone down like you're scooping it in, you'll feel that even more. Again, lift your chest. You can either stay here if you want a little more challenge. Stretch your left arm up, take it into baby dancer. Steady your gaze, steady your breath. And then if you're there, back to the first position and down. Let's do the second side. Shift your weight onto your right leg, take your left leg up. Draw your heel in, tailbone down. If you did on the first side, right arm up, fold forward, and lift the leg up behind you. And then back to the first position. And release. Standing side stretch. Either stand with your feet hip distance apart or together. Stretch your arms up. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can hold your right wrist with your left hand and reach over to the left. If that doesn't feel good on your back, you can have your hand on your hip. You can have your arm down along your side. You can do this standing with your back against the wall as well. So any of those. And then up to center, change sides, reach up and over to the right. And first side again, to the left. And to the right. And back up to center, release your arms down. Stand facing toward the long edge of your mat. Step your feet wide apart. Take your hands to your hips. Now you can also we're going to do a little sequence of standing poses. You can do this with your back at a wall. You can do this, I'll give you some options. If you have your blocks, you can put your blocks to the back of your mat as well. Turn your left toes in, right leg and foot open. Stretch your arms up, bend your front knee, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. 3 breaths. Okay, now into extended side angle. So take your torso over to your right. Forearm can go down on the thigh or the hand can go on a block behind your ankle. Stretch your left arm up alongside your, or full pose is the hand on the floor. So any of those. 3 breaths. Let's go back to warrior two. And reverse warrior two. Lower your left arm down, sweep, turn your right arm so the palm faces up, sweep it up, and reach it over to the left. Descend that front thigh. Back to warrior two, and stretch your legs straight. Let's go to the other side. Turn your right toes in, left leg and foot open, bend your front knee. Three breaths. Parshvakonasana, extended side angle. Warrior two, reverse warrior two. Warrior two. Stretch your legs straight, turn your feet parallel. Take your hands to your hips, fold forward from the tops of your legs. Now, you can bring your fingertips to the floor by bending your knees as you need to. If it's easier for you, you can also grab a chair and just place your folded arms on the seat of a chair, or you can put a blanket over the seat of the chair and just rest your forehead down. Here, your head doesn't need to be touching the floor, so it's fine to just fold forward wherever your head goes. And then bend your knees, take your hands to your hips, and come up. Let's do that little sequence of 3 standing poses again. If you need a little break, step your feet closer together, and then step your feet wide apart. Turn your left toes in, right leg and foot open. Lift your arms, lift your chest. Exhale to bend your front knee. Warrior two. Side angle. Reverse warrior. Warrior two, and stand up. Change sides. Extended side angle. Reverse warrior two. Warrior two. Stand up, turn your feet parallel. Now have your blocks near you. We won't use them quite yet, but we will in a moment. So come forward again. Take your hands under your shoulders. We're going to do a little spinal twist here. I call it windmills. So bring your left hand to the center, just underneath your face. If you need a block for your hand, by all means do that. Take your right hand to your hip. Twist to your right. You can either keep your right hand on your hip or stretch your arms straight. And lower down, change sides. Roll that left shoulder back, possibly take the arm up. If you did on the first side, twist to your left. And then first side again. If this is hard on your wrist, you can just come up on your fingertips, or again, use a block, or you can also use a chair for this. Just place your forearm on the chair and twist. Second side. And then back to center. Now, let's see about getting a little bit of an inversion by pressing the crown of the head either into the floor or into a block or two blocks, or pressing where your hairline is, the top of the forehead, on a chair. Okay, so that's another option here. So whatever you need to get your head down slightly, bow forward and rest there. And we'll be here for about 30 seconds. Okay, slowly walk your feet closer together, bend your knees as you need to, take your hands to your hips, lengthen your spine, and come up to standing. Let's do one last standing pose. Have your blocks on either side of your mat, stand between your blocks, step your left leg back, lift your chest, roll your shoulders back, exhale, bow forward. The left hip will want to lift up, see if you can roll it down to make your hips more even, right to left. Keep your back leg straight and strong as best you can. And roll your outer right hip back, bow towards your right leg. If you can keep your legs straight with your fingertips on the floor, then you don't need the blocks, but use the blocks at the height that's best for you to make your legs straight. Take your hands to your hips, lengthen your spine, lift your chest, and come up. Change sides, step your left leg forward and step your right leg back. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders back, and exhale to fold forward from the tops of your legs, taking your hands to your blocks or to the floor. Take your hands to your hips, lengthen your spine, lift your chest. Let's do one more time to each side. Right leg forward, left leg back, bow forward, and take your hands down. Hands to hips, lengthen your spine, come up. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention, you can also do this with your hands either on a wall or on a chair. So you're only going halfway if you have anything going on in your back. Fold forward. Okay, come on up. Okay, step your feet together. Come on down to the floor. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Baddha Konasana. If your knees come up higher than your hips, please sit up on a blanket or a block. Press your fingertips into the floor close to your hips behind you and move your lower back in and up. Press into your feet and extend out through your knees. Use your hands to bring your knees together. Place your feet flat on the floor. Seated eye of the needle pose. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh, top of your left knee. And again, if this is, to avoid putting weight into the wrist, just come up on your fingertips. Move your lower back in and up. Okay, so it's hard for you to feel that you're rolling toward the front of your sitting bones. Lower back is moving in and up rather than rounding back like so. Unbend your left knee more. That'll make it easier. To increase the challenge, bend your left knee more. Bring your heel closer to your buttock bone. Remember, whenever we're doing this form, like the eye of the needle form, we want to focus on opening the hip, not so much pushing the knee away, right? The knee will start to open as a result of that opening in the hip. So that's really where we want to focus the effort, not by pushing the knee away. Change sides. Okay, back to Baddha Konasana. Again, sitting up as you need to. Now we'll take a version of Janu Shirshasana. So keeping your left leg in, extend your right leg out. And I'm going to move back so you can see me, and you're just going to bow forward here. You can also stay upright if this gives you a nice stretch through your inner thigh. Otherwise, you can walk your hands forward and bow forward. A few more breaths here. Remember to always fold forward from the hips so that the chest comes last into the forward bend. And then lengthen your spine, come up, bend your right leg, extend your left leg out. And again, either stay upright, just working on the beginning stages of this folding forward from the tops of the legs. And then as you gradually bring the rib cage forward, the belly forward, you can allow the spine to round. And then come on up, back to Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Okay, bring your hands up to your knees. Bring your hands to your knees and bring your knees together. Bharadvajasana 1. Take your feet to the left and the hips to the right. Now, if this is a hard position for your knees, here's an alternative. You can simply do we're going to do a twist here. So you can do a cross-legged twist in this way. Okay, and you can be sitting up on something as you need to keep your lower back moving in and up. So I'm going to take my feet to the left, hips to the right, sitting up on a blanket under my right buttock bone to help give that lift to the spine. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee and your right fingertips behind you. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist. Moving with your breath. Inhale to lengthen and create space. And exhale to twist. Couple more breaths here. After your next exhalation, inhale to come back to center and change sides. So if you're in the cross-legged twist, switch the cross of your leg so the other shin is in front. Keep your left hip supported. And for this twist, Bharadvajasana 1, bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee, left fingertips behind you. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Keep moving with your breath, lengthening on the inhale and moving on the exhale. And after your next exhalation, inhale to come back up to center. We'll finish with a forward bend. So if possible, take Balasana, child's pose. You can have your blanket right over your heels. You can take a block for your forehead. If you wish, you can rest your forehead on folded arms. If that doesn't work for your knees, no problem. Take Sukhasana, forward bend, so cross-legged. And you'll do the same thing. Rest your forehead down either on a block or on your arms, or maybe even on the floor. So either child's pose or Sukhasana, forward bend. You could have your arms in whatever position feels good. Release your lower back down. Release your buttock bones toward the floor. Pose heavy. Breathe into the back of your body. If you're in cross-legged forward bend, please come up and change the cross of your legs again and go forward. And then slowly use your hands to press yourself back up to sitting. We're going to go into Shavasana now. If you have a few extra minutes and you practice Sarvangasana, shoulder stand, and you have the inclination to do that, now is a great time to do that. You can put us on pause and do your inversion and then take Shavasana. To go right into Shavasana with us, you can, if you've used a chair for this practice, you can put your lower legs on a chair. Otherwise, we will lie flat. Take whatever you need to be comfortable and warm. Begin by lying back and just bending your knees. And just rest here. You can either rest with your hands on your lower belly or arms out along your sides, like in a Shavasana position. Your legs, you can have your feet flat on the floor, and you can either have your thighs parallel with each other or take your feet wider than your hips and let your knees come together in the middle. So for some people, this is a really restful position, and you can do Shavasana like this. So rest there for a few minutes, just connecting with your breathing. Allow your back to release. Remember that inner stance of gentleness and welcoming, and allow that quality of gentleness to relax anywhere you might be holding that you don't need to be. You can either continue to rest with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, or stretch your legs straight. Relax all the muscles of your face. Turn your attention to your breathing. And as you rest in Shavasana, allow your mind to focus on the movement of your breath as a focal point for its attention. Rest inside. Follow your next exhalation all the way to the end. Welcome a deeper breath in. Take a few rounds of deep, full breaths. Welcoming yourself back from Shavasana. Gently begin to move your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet. Slowly bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, and take a final stretch in whatever way feels good. Slowly roll all the way over to your right side. And keeping your face soft, use your hand to gently press yourself up to sitting. Take a moment, seated with your eyes closed, to notice the inner effects of your practice. Please join your hands together in the center of your chest. Inwardly, thank yourself for your efforts in this practice. And we'll chant one Om to close. Exhale your breath. Take a full breath in. To the light in you, I bow. Namaste. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great day.